Documents.
Hmm.
You know that somebody
Green.
highlighter on
That's not good. I can probably get it off later. Okay, so what we know so far, we know slope-intercept form, and that's y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So if you were to put 0 in for x, that would be the y-intercept, right? So it'd be 0, comma, and then whatever b is, okay? If you needed to find the x-intercept, you would put 0 in for y. So then it'd be whatever the x-intercept is, comma, 0, right? So it's kind of backwards. So we already know that. And then some new stuff was point slope form, okay? Now point slope form looks like this. It's y minus y1 equals m parenthesis x minus x1. And x1 and y1 is a point, like it's a point that's given. You'll notice that inside of it is a minus. And so if it was already a negative, it would be a plus. So like if the x value was a negative, it'd be x plus that value, okay? And then the m goes here for the slope. So let's look at one and try and put it in, okay? So if I'm given that the slope is negative 1/3, and then I'm given a point negative 1 comma negative 6, all I have to do is plug it into that form, okay? And so it'll be y minus the y value. But what is the y value in this case? What's the y value?
6.
Negative 6. So it'll be y minus negative 6. But what happens with that double negative? It becomes an addition. So it'll be y plus 6 equals the slope. What is the slope in this case? Negative 1/3. Parenthesis x minus the x value. What's the x value? Negative 1. So it'd be x plus 1. Good. So you should get this. Okay? So we can do this when we're given the slope and 1 point. If we were given this information, they said, hey, but we really want the y-intercept format. It's okay, though. I can go from this form to the other form very easily. How do I get y by itself, guys? I subtract that 6, and then what do I have to do to that slope, though? I have to distribute it.
Oh, yeah.
If I want to get y equals form, I don't know why it came out backwards, sorry. But you would do y equals, and you would do a negative 1/3 x, and then you'd have a negative 1/3 minus 5, though. And if you put that together. So now this is in slope-intercept form. So we can go from point slope to slope-intercept if we want to. All right, let's try another one. So let's say I'm given a graph in this situation, and we want to still put it in point slope. Oops, go back. Sorry. Okay, so they're going to tell us a point, 4, 3, and then they're telling us the slope is negative 1/2, but we could count it if we needed to. Remember, it's rise over run. And we know that it's negative because from left to right, it's decreasing. So if it's decreasing from left to right, we know it's negative, okay? In this case, they're giving it to us. So if we were to rewrite this in point slope form, oh, it's already here. It's y minus 3, because 3 is positive, equals 1/2 parenthesis x minus 4, because 4 is also positive. Okay, I want you to try this one. So they're giving you the slope is 5/2, and they're giving you a 0.22. Just real quick, jot down what you would get for a point slope form. Should only take you a couple seconds, maybe a minute. So remember, the formula is y minus y1 equals m parenthesis x minus x1. Okay, so all we have to do is plug it in. So I should get y what?
Y plus, oh, yeah, wait, Y plus 2.
Is it plus 2 or minus 2?
Minus.
It's minus 2 because it's not negative. So y minus 2 equals
5/2,
5/2, parenthesis.
and then x minus 2.
Good, x minus 2.
Oh, smart hands.
See, you got this.
We did this freshman year.
Yeah, you did this freshman year.
We didn't see the-
Okay, I'm going to skip. This is just another example. Okay. The next thing I want to show you is, okay, what if I'm given 2 points but no slope? Does anyone remember how to find the slope if I have 2 points? This is also from Algebra 1. There's a formula. If you have 2 points, you can find the slope. What is it? So do I have the slope here? No, I have 2 points. How do I find the slope? All right, you're going to want to write this formula down then. Close. I'm hearing parts of it. Yeah. So it's m equals y2 minus y1. That's in the numerator. The denominator is x2 minus x1. Okay? Now, how do I know which one's x1 and x2? Or does it matter? Yeah, the answer is kinda. It kind of, if I start with the second point as x1, then that has to be y1, right? But if I want to say this one, the first one is x1, then the first one has to be y1. Okay? So it kind of matters. As long as you keep the same order, it doesn't matter which one you start with. Okay? So I don't remember which one I started with. I started with the second one. Okay, so I did y2 was -2. So -2 minus a -3. Do you see how those are both a y value? Okay, they're both the y value. Since I started with -2, I have to start with what in the denominator?
-2. That one. That one.
4. So 4 minus 2 in the denominator. So I end up with, on the top, let's clean it up a little bit, -2. A double negative becomes a positive. Guys, so -2 plus 3 will give me a +1. And then 4 minus 2 just gives me 2. So my slope is now 1/2.
What's that formula called again?
It's just to find the slope when you're given 2 points. Okay, now can I put it in point slope form? Yes. What point do I use? You can use either one. Good. I used the first one, I think, in my example. So Now I can put it in point slope form. So I just plug it in. Again, you're going to get this double negative here, so that's going to be a plus. And so point slope form gives you y plus 3 equals 1/2 parentheses x minus 2. If I wanted it in slope intercept form, I would distribute this 1/2. And then on this side, I would have to subtract a 3 from both sides to get y by itself. When y is by itself, it's in slope intercept form. Okay? So that's a few different things to do. Depends on what they're asking. Okay, so to write from point slope to slope intercept, you need to simplify using the distributive property, move the constant to the right, and combine like terms. Okay, distribute, move the constant to the right, and then combine like terms. All right, your turn. Ready? Write the slope intercept form, but you're only given 2 points. So first you must calculate the slope. First, calculate the slope. When you think you have the slope, raise your hand.
Raise it, y over it.
Y is on top. When you think you have the slope, raise your hand. Okay, what's the slope? I think, did you put the X's on top or the Y's?
Why not?
Oh, wait. Is it 4?
Nope. Subtract the Y's on top
Oh,
and then keep the same order. So whichever Y you started with, you have to start with that X. Good. How do you reduce -2/6? What is it?
I mean, yeah, 1 over 2. Negative 1 over 2.
Negative 1/3. Good. Okay, so you should have gotten, and it could have been 3 minus 5 or 5 minus 3. If you switched them, you would have had to switch the bottom as well, though. Okay. All right, now take that and put it in point slope form. And go ahead so that we all are on the same page. Use the point 4, 3, just so we all have the same answer. So put it in point slope form using the first point. I think I'm out of tissues. I don't know. They're on my kitchen counter. I totally bought some too.
What?
I bought extra tissues and I knew we were out, and they're on my kitchen counter. They're in a Walmart bag and everything, like ready to come. All right, who thinks they got it? Y what?
Y minus 3.
Good. Y minus 3 equals
1 over negative 3.
negative 1/3,
Yeah, negative 1/3.
parentheses.
X minus 4.
Perfect. Okay, now the hard part. Solve for y. Distribute the slope, add the 3, and simplify. You're going to leave it in fractions. Don't give me decimals.
Don't give you decimals.
No, I don't want a decimal.
Why do you like decimals?
Because then you have to use a calculator. And right here, you don't need a calculator. And fractions are actually more precise because you don't round. So distribute that negative 1/3. You get negative 1/3 x. It'll turn into a positive 4/3. Then you need to add 3.
You guys are correct.
How do I change 3 so that it also has a denominator of 3? Okay. So again, you should have distributed. You should have got negative 1/3 x plus 4/3. All right, then I'm going to add 3 to the other side. But instead of adding 3, I want something with a 3 in the denominator. So what's better?
1 over 3. The 3 over 1. Wait, no.
Nope, if I'm adding 3, how do I change 3 over 1 to something with a 3 in the denominator?
Becomes 9 over.
Good, Trinity, 9 over 3.
Oh.
Because 9 over 3 is still 3, but 9 over 3 gives me a denominator. So what is 4/3 plus 9/3? 13/3. So your final answer should be y equals negative 1/3 x plus 13/3.
That's not right.
Because you had to change the plus 3 into 9/3. Okay? Adding fractions. Okay. I'm gonna end the show.